So after 45 minutes of circling around 450 degrees with this oven, we're going to pull this out and see how it turned out. So welcome to this short Cooking with Cindy episode. Many people have asked me for my sourdough recipe and have also questioned whether I can actually cook a sourdough in my trailer. I'm going to attempt to do the sourdough in my trailer, but with one little problem. I did not bring my scale. So we are going to do this using the conventional measuring units, which are cups and tablespoons and teaspoons, and we're going to see how it turns out. The other thing that's in question is my starter was slightly hungry. It had the hooch on the top that I had to pour off before I fed it. So those two things might play into whether this is a successful venture or not, but we're going to see how it goes.
It might be how not to make sourdough.
It might be how to not make sourdough in your trailer. So we're going to see how it goes. This process started the night before when I brought my starter out and left it on the countertop all night so it could come to room temperature. I then fed it and separated it into two different units. One that was going to be part of the bread and one that was going to go back into his little jar and be stored in the fridge. And if you're wondering, the name of my starter is Bob.
Bob the Blob.
Bob the Blob. So we're going to start with our sourdough. I have 2 cups of bread flour here. Normally I would use 3 cups of bread flour, but because we're cooking in the trailer and my covered pan is a little smaller, I bring the recipe down 1/3. So this is 2 cups of flour here. This is 2/3 of cup of water. And realize when you add the water to your bread flour that you do not want it to be sticky. You just want it to sort of come together. It's raining outside today, and so the humidity levels are pretty high, and so I probably am not going to be using all of this water. So we're just going to add this to our flour here, and we're going to let it sit for 30 minutes. So let's get started. Now, I'm not adding all the water at once. I'm just going to sort of bring it together. So this is the texture you kind of want when you mix your water and your flour here. You want a shaggy kind of dough that's not sticky. So you can see it's not sticking to my hand. So, and you're just going to let that sit for 30 minutes. And note that I did not use all my water. There's probably about a tablespoon left in my cup. So let's wait 30 minutes. So 30 minutes is up. We're going to take our water and flour mixture here, our little shaggy dough, and we're going to add 3 generous tablespoons of our fed starter. And you can see it has some little bubbles in there, and so it's been sitting out for probably about 5 hours or so, and it should hopefully double in size in that time period. So we're going to add 3 generous tablespoons.
Looks goopy.
It's kind of goopy. Ideally, it shouldn't be as goopy as this, but it was not a completely happy starter. All right, that should do it. Just set this aside. And we're going to stir this in and sort of knead it into the dough for about 3 minutes or so, and then we're going to let it rest again for 30 minutes. But you just kind of want to fold the starter in. So when the dough is sticky like this, you can sort of see it's sticky. A good tip is to just wet your hand, and that'll help you do the dough without it really sticking to your hand too much. And so we're going to just continue to knead this for 3 minutes, and we're going to let it rest with a towel over the top of it until 30 minutes has passed. 30 minutes is up. We are going to take the cover off and add our salt. So we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Just going to sprinkle it over the top. And we're just going to knead that in and let it sit for 30 minutes. So all right, once your salt is mixed in, we're going to transfer it to a lightly oiled bowl, and this bowl is probably a little bit bigger than I would need for this, but this is what I would use for my normal sourdough. And so we're just going to coat it in oil and let it rest 30 minutes. And that is the hardest this is going to get, this whole process. So other than that, we're going to just do some soft folds every 30 minutes for 2 times and a 1 hour fold after that, and let it rest overnight. So that is as hard as it gets. I'll show you some folds and let you know the intervals. And we are on our way to getting sourdough. I'm going to cover this with a clean garbage bag, and we're going to let this rest for 30 minutes. Well, it's been 30 minutes, and we're going to do the first of 2 soft folds. I'm going to wet my hands a little bit because it'll be sticky, but hopefully not tacky. So we're just going to lift it up, fold it over, turn the bowl, lift it up, fold it over, turn the bowl. If it doesn't stretch, you just sort of shake it out, fold the bowl, and the last little turn, shake it out, and fold. And we're just going to put it into a ball. Okay, so this is our last fold for the night. It's been an hour since our last fold. We're going to pull it out of the garbage bag. We're going to wet our hands. And we're going to do our last folds before we let it go for the night. Just going to put it into a ball and find a warm place for it. It likes about 74 degrees. We're going to see if we can do that. It's going to be a chilly night tonight with the rain, but tomorrow we're going to bake it in the oven and it should be good. So good morning. We are actually going to look at our sourdough this morning for the first time to see, hopefully, if it's going to do as well as I hope. So we're going to just check it out and see what it looks like. This will be the first indicator as to whether it's going to do well or not. It's doing okay. It's got some bubbles in there. So I have some hopes. So what we're going to do right now is to knead it into a ball and let it rest for 15 minutes. Just want to flour your dough up. And we're going to take this out of the pan. We're going to take this out of the bowl very gently. Just want to sort of fold it into a ball like that. Make sure it has plenty of flour. Yep, it's got some puffiness to it, so hoping it will be good. Add some more flour. And we're going to cover that and let it sit for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes is elapsed. We're going to form our bread up for the second time and put it into your pan that you're going to be cooking it in. And this has to be the right size for your oven. This is not a residential size oven. But you're going to want a oven-safe pot with a lid for this, because you have to steam the bread for the first half hour. So that's what we're going to do for this next step. So we're going to add a little bit more bread flour underneath. And we're going to flip it over, bring up the sides, bring up the back, and proceed to form it into a ball again. And you can see the little bubbles here. One right there. If they get too big, you can pinch them. And so we're just going to put this little guy in there. And we're going to find a warmer spot to put him for 30 minutes and cover it. So 30 minutes, and within about 10 or 15 minutes before this is ready to go, I'm going to crank up the oven. And this time I do have an oven thermometer so that I can try to get it as close to 450 as I can with an oven that has a very inaccurate temperature setting. So we're going to see if we can crank 450 out of this oven. All right, so I think the oven has come to 450. At least my thermometer here says it's about 466. So we're going to finish this up by scoring our sourdough loaf here. I'm going to sprinkle it with just a little flour here, just on the top, just to give it a little bit of texture. And we're just going to, using a very sharp knife, cut into it. And you have to be aggressive. So I think that'll do, and we'll see how it turns out. We're going to cover it and stick it into this 450-degree oven, hopefully, for 30 minutes, and then we're going to uncover it. Yep, that'll do. All right, we'll see how it goes. So we have reached the 30-minute mark. We're going to see how the sour bread turns out, and then we're going to stick it. We're going to take the lid off, and we're going to stick it back for another 15 minutes. The interesting fact about this oven, and according to my oven thermometer, is that it really won't stick to one temperature for your duration of your baking process. You sort of have to circle around your temperature. So when it goes down, you have to turn it up, and when it goes up too far, you have to turn it down. So it's a little tedious, but we're going to see how it works out. So here we go. See how this stage went. Not bad. It rose up a bit. All right, we're going to stick it back in for another 15 minutes and see if it browns. There's my oven thermometer. And there's how it's turned out. It didn't brown as much as I would have liked. So it may be due to the fact that it was a kind of hungry starter, and it may be due to the fact that the oven was just kind of circling around 450 degrees. So we're going to let this cool, and we're going to slice into it, and I will give you my final analysis. So the bread has cooled. I'm going to cut into it. I'm going to do an analysis of the crumb and the crust and see if it's a good, actually good sourdough. So right now it's got the nice crunchy outside, but look at the bottom though. In spite of my best efforts, the bottom's pretty hard and it's a little dark. So I think that sourdough the starter was not in its best form. When the crust is that hard on the bottom, and you can sort of see the crumb there, it should have had been more expanded. And so I do think the sourdough was a little tired that I used, and so that's probably why I didn't get the spring that I should have. But on the whole, it's not bad. Let's take a taste. It's got a tougher crust too, and that's another sign that their sourdough was a little tired. The taste is good. It's just the crust is a little tough and my sourdough was a little tired, and I also had to play with the oven a little bit to get the right temperature because it wouldn't just stick one temperature. You had to either have it going up or having it going down. So it is what it is, and maybe my next effort will be better. I'm going to attach the recipe that I used below and see if it works for you. As you can see, I had better results from my old oven, which was a Magic Chef. Not only would it hold a temperature, I also had room to prop up the pan with a Dutch oven trivet. Also, a better browning solution would be to use a cloche or a cover. Here I used a large pot that I turned upside down over the bread. Once removed, the air was able to better circulate around the bread, which helped to improve the browning. So if you like this video, give us a big thumbs up. And if you think we've earned a subscription, click to subscribe and comment below, as I said, if this recipe works for you. We come out with new RV content every Tuesday. Thanks for watching.